when I was promised and told by people that what I was doing was okay, that everything was fine, and that my scholarships could come through later. And then I'm suddenly unenrolled from my dream school.
This is Isabella Williams, one of over 500 incoming first-year students who were unenrolled from Howard University just weeks before the start of the school year. In a statement, Howard University confirmed students who, quote, did not meet the established payment arrangement, or scholarship and other financial aid reporting deadlines were unenrolled. Members of the Howard University community are calling the university's handling of the situation unacceptable, with some unenrolled students pointing to miscommunications with academic advisors.
She had told me that I was all covered and I didn't have to worry about anything, and that if I get an email saying that I need to pay July 10th, I can just ignore it. I'm all covered, I'm good.
Many are turning to social media to share their frustrations with the situation.
So honestly, this whole situation is really disheartening.
Tell me, Howard, what am I and hundreds of other students supposed to do now?
The university said they provided multiple detailed communications throughout March, April, May, June, and July to first-time and college students and families on steps needed to secure enrollment for the fall 2026 semester.
We had not received communication or complete documentation from that group of students. And so we felt it was our responsibility to let those students know that we will be disenrolling them so that we could plan appropriately for the fall. And so, yes, we have to do a better job of how we communicate the information. I absolutely agree. But I want people to be clear that we were earnest in our ability here to try to communicate what we were doing and to try to get people to come in and get a really good start as they come in as well.
Though some students like Isabella were able to have their decisions overturned, the university president says this will not be the case for the vast majority of students who were unenrolled.
As we see this young woman break down after finding out she was one of over 500 students who got enrolled from Howard University because of tuition payment issues. And I gotta be honest with y'all, this video made me mad. Not because a student couldn't pay. It made me mad because this is one of those moments that exposes one of the ugliest truths about America. We tell kids from the time they're 5 years old, work hard, get good grades, stay out of trouble, go to college, and you'll have a better life. They spend years sacrificing. Their parents sacrifice. Some of these kids are the first in their family to even make it to college. Then after they finally get accepted, after they've celebrated, cake, ice cream, everything, bought the school clothes, packed the dorm room, told the whole family, I'm going to Howard. Somebody in an office sends an email saying, sorry, no payment, no education. Bring your bags back home. And we're supposed to act like that's normal. Come on now. Over 500 students. That's not just a number. That's over 500 dreams, over 500 families, over 500 people sitting there wondering if their future just changed overnight because they couldn't come up with enough money. And here's the part that really bothers me. We say education is one of the most important things in America. We tell kids education is the key to success. We tell them college is the answer. But then we put a price tag on that education so high that if you don't have enough money, suddenly your future becomes negotiable. Think about how crazy that is, man. You could be smart enough to get accepted, but not rich enough to stay. Read that again. You could be smart enough to get accepted, but not rich enough to stay. Does that sound like a system that's designed to help people? Or a system that's designed to make money? See, this is where I know some people are going to probably disagree with me, and that's okay. That's what I do this for, right? I have always believed if a school wants you because of your academics, because of your talent, because of your athletic ability, because they believe you're going to represent that university well, then why are you paying for it? If you qualified to get in, why should money be the thing that keeps you out? We have enough money in this country, man. We have universities with billions of dollars just going through it. You know, we have alumni worth hundreds of millions of dollars. We have stadiums being built that cost more than some small towns. But somehow we can't figure out how to keep 500 students enrolled. Make that make sense. And don't tell me it's impossible. It's impossible because people don't want it to be possible. See, somewhere along the way, education stopped becoming a mission and started becoming a business. Am I lying? That's why some people graduate with enough student loan debt to buy a house, you know, and what's even crazier is a lot of people never ever even finish college. You know, they drop out after a year or two. I did myself. But guess what? Guess what doesn't drop out? The bill. That student loan follows them around like that one family member who keep asking to borrow money and at every cookout but never pay you back. You can't get rid of it. It follows you for years, sometimes decades. And the people who do graduate, some of them are still paying student loans when they're old enough to get senior discounts at restaurants, man. It never stops. You know, that's crazy to me. Now, before anybody says Paul is against education, absolutely not. Education is important. Let's not go there. Let's not do that. Learning is important. Growing is important. But I'm against people putting young people in financial chains before they even get started in life, man. That's what I'm against. And for those of you who don't know, I actually went to college. You know, I stayed about a year. And then I realized it wasn't paying for me. You know, it wasn't enough for me. I prayed about it and I walked away. You know, looking back, I believed it was one of the best decisions I ever made because what God called me to do didn't require a college degree. It required faith, you know, hard work, consistency, and obedience. You know, now that doesn't mean college isn't for you. If God has called you to be a doctor, you know, go to medical school. If he called you to be an attorney, go to law school. If he called you into engineering or another profession that requires a degree, absolutely go get it, man. Get it. But I think too many parents are raising kids to believe college is the only path to success. It's not. We need plumbers, you know, we need electricians. We need welders. We need truck drivers, man. We need entrepreneurs. We need business owners. You know, we need people who create jobs, not just people who apply for them. And let me throw a little humor in here. You know, I ain't do that. You know, half the people graduating today can't even change a flat tire, to be honest with you. But they got $80,000 worth of student loan debt. Think about that. You know, we've got degrees everywhere, but practical skills are disappearing. That's backwards. Don't make no sense. The Bible saying in Proverbs 22:7, the borrower is servant to the lender. That's not saying borrowing money is automatically a sin. Not at all. I'm not saying that. It's teaching us that debt creates pressure. Debt creates limitations. Debt creates stress. And I think we've normalized putting young people in a massive debt before they even had a chance to build a life. That's crazy, man. That's not wisdom. And here's another scripture I think about. James 1:5. It says, if any of you lack wisdom, you should ask God, you know, who gives generously to all without finding fault. Parents, before you automatically send your son or daughter to college because that's what everybody else is doing, ask God for wisdom. You know, young people, before you sign paperwork that could affect your finances for the next 20 or 30 years of your life, ask God for wisdom, because everybody else's path doesn't have to become your path. See, this story isn't really about Howard University. It's about a bigger question. Are we preparing young people for life? Or are we preparing them to become customers? Because sometimes I honestly think the business model has become more important than the student. Look at what we see here. And that's heartbreaking. To every student who got unenrolled, don't let this become the end of your story. Maybe God has another door. Maybe he has another school. Maybe he has another opportunity for you. Maybe he's redirecting you toward something you never, ever even considered. Don't lose hope because one institution told you no, or take a step back. God's plan for your life has never depended on one university. Trust that. Your future is bigger than one acceptance letter, and it's definitely bigger than one rejection email. Keep working, keep trusting God, keep developing your gifts, because your purpose isn't found in a college campus. Your purpose is found in the one who created you. And never forget that. It's your boy, Paul P. God bless you, and I'll catch you on the next one. Doses.